I wish I could come on here weekly and give you just nice, wholesome home buying, home selling educational videos, but occasionally I have to find out some info and I just have to come on here and blast some butts. I'm not in the butt blasting business. However, when I find something so egregious like I did, I gotta report it. So in today's video, we're talking about home builders, specifically the latest thing that they're starting to pull with home buyers that you should look out for. The information on this video is based off reports that I've gotten from people that I've known, that have messaged me, etc., that have signed non-disclosure agreements with these builders. So I cannot specify the name of the builder, nor the people, nor the state or city that they're in. So you could definitely say that they are lying. However, it's kind of curious that there have been now multiple people tell me the same thing when I haven't really talked about it really publicly. So in today's video, we're going to find out what's the latest thing that they're pulling, and hopefully you can keep an eye out and ear out if you are in a new build contract or you're thinking about getting in one. 2020 has been an insane year for home buyers, and maybe not so much home sellers, because they've been pretty much benefiting from this if they were thinking about selling. One party who has made out pretty well with this is home builders. You know, they were always around. You always saw them when you're driving around the outskirts cities, or maybe they would buy a big piece of land in town that they would, you know, have these new builds for sale for months and months, and they would have trouble selling them. Historically, in the last 5 years, they wouldn't sell out immediately. They were just an alternative option for the bougie people who was like didn't want to buy a house that's been used, right? That they were going to pay a premium of $50,000 to $100,000 more than if you would have just bought a resale to go get something brand new and customize it to your very own taste. So they have been there, but they have always historically giving the buyer a lot of premiums for buying with them because they knew they were not the popular option. Some of the premiums include, hey, we're going to give you incentive for the upgrades. We're going to be giving you a closing cost, basically meaning they're going to pay your closing costs for you on the loan, and all kinds of other things. So 2020 has been crazy because if you found them at the beginning of the year, that was a pretty good alternative. You know, instead of going and fight to the death, gladiator style, for other houses in the resale market, you could just go to your local home builder and, you know, pick out a lot, and for the same price now, because houses are rising so much in value, you can get a new home construction house. So I always have trouble finding the freaking word for it. As the year has gone by, the new construction market has gotten a lot more competitive. Now there's wait lists for certain builders. They're giving less and less incentives to buyers to buy their houses because they understand now that it's an incentive to buy their house, not necessarily they have to be captivating buyers with giving them incentives, right? So along with this, something that they're also doing, which is not a surprise to anybody, is they are really increasing their prices like dramatically. I've had stories of people that go look at a house and that might be worth $340 like around May or June, and they go recently and now it's like closer to $400,000. Like they're increasing at such a rapid rate that it's insane. It doesn't make sense. Now builders are saying that the cost of lumber is going up and it's a lot more difficult to buy, which, you know, I totally get, and that's definitely valid. However, you can't help but think, well, you know, it's more expensive to build a house, but is it really another $50,000 or $100,000 worth more, right? It's a lot of supply and demand, right? So they used to have high supply, low demand, and now they have an extremely high demand for new builds, and they have low supply because there's not very many of them out there, or just reality that there's not a lot of good land to build on. So like I said, all this is happening because they're not realizing the amount of value they bring to this market, the amount of value they bring to potential home buyers looking to buy. They know that we're getting out here beat up. They know that it's really intense and difficult for any first-time home buyer to buy a house. What happens if you were to lock in early on and you have everything signed and dated and everything's good, but the new builder were to reach out to you like halfway through the contract and say, hey, you know what? I know we agreed on this price, but I think we're going to want it for this price more. What are you going to do? Now, of course, you're going to say, well, you can't do that. They signed a contract. They agreed to do that. Yeah, you're right. A lot of times they do, but if you read the contract closely, a lot of times builders have the ability to increase their price or have to introduce a new price if there is any unforeseen circumstances. So I have heard now for multiple people that this is happening. They were in contracts with home builders. They thought they got a pretty good deal. They were able to secure a lot. They were saved from the perils of this crazy house buying market, only for the builder to come back and say, you know what? This is actually not worth this. It's worth this. And if you don't want to give that to us, we're going to cancel. In one specific situation, they were able to lock in their contract in, like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, right? And, you know, they're not taking 4 or 5 months to build a house anymore, guys. If you're not familiar, they're taking 9 to even 12 months sometimes to build on it. So there's a lot of time where you're just waiting around, you know, sometimes even half a year waiting around before they start building anything. And in that time, a lot can change. And what happened with these people is that the builder kept delaying the construction of the house. It was always weird. It was always delayed. What's going on? And then, of course, they get that call from corporate one day where they go, hey, we're about $30,000 off from the price we need to be. Now, of course, they did what any other buyer would do, and they have freaked out and called people and threatened and did all this and did all the other. Well, fortunately for them, they were able to back out and not have to do anything. Kind of crappy situation, right? Because if you think about it, the builder has a lot of money to play with, and they can really bully you out of the contract if they need to, which I don't know what their intention was. But I'm going to say that it's pretty curious that after, they got the boot, they put the lot back on the market, the buyer noticed that, hey, there's this $50,000 premium now for that lot. And guess what? They were able to sell it right away. Let's say that buyer fought it more and took it to court and had to get paid a settlement of something. I don't know, 5, 10K, I don't know, right? What happens if that happens? Well, even if the builder does that and has to give the buyer 5, 10K to go away, they're still going to make a lot more money by putting it back on the market, even if it's almost being done built, putting it back, getting another buyer in there that will pay that increased value. Another situation I heard, unfortunately, was from somebody who was already done. They were almost near the finish line. They were ready to go and the house was almost done being built. However, they got that call from the builder. Hey, your house is almost done being built. I hope you're happy and whatnot. What if we were able to give you this amount of money? Would you walk out of the contract? Of course, the buyer didn't take it. They closed on it, but the fact of the matter is that same model they're still building in that lots, that model was going for a lot more now. And for the builder, it made more sense to pay this buyer a certain amount of money to buy them out so they can resell it again and make probably another 50 to 80K off the next buyer. So I'm not saying it's going to happen every single time. I'm sure that there's like 95%, 99% of people have a very nice, thorough experience with the builder. And I certainly have never had it happen with my clients, because I think personally builders, when they see that you're with representation, I feel like they try to pull less things like that with you. But anyways, that could just be my opinion. I could have just been very lucky. But either way, like I said, use this as a what if. You always hear these horror stories of like, oh my gosh, this happened once, so I better watch out for this, right? So consider this your horror story. It could be completely fabricated by these people, very, very detailed fabrication. Either way, use it as a what if. When you're talking to your builder, what if this happens? What if that happens? Do you guys have the ability or the right to cancel if you want to? Do you have the ability to increase or decrease your price? You know what I'm saying? So just be careful, guys. In general, a lot of home builders right now are taking advantage of first-time home buyers. I made this video a while back where I talked about the things that they're doing to basically take advantage of you as first-time home buyers. So take a watch of it. Make sure you're really aware of what's going on with the market. And please be safe. Make the right decisions. Have representation. And you'll be Gucci.